Okay, guys, I did want to do one more example here. So, uh, and this is one from our text that's more complex because I know I mentioned about finding the right expression for the general term, and it's still confusing some people. So I'm just going to do an example of what it means. Okay, so here's an example that came from our text. It says Susan joined a fitness class. She has a sit-up plan. On the sixth day of the plan, she did 11 sit-ups. On the 15th day, she did 29. Write the expression for the general term if the sit-up plan follows an arithmetic sequence. So when they say write the general term, they're telling you that they want you to use that formula. Basically what they're saying, let me get this out of the way here and get a marker up here. There we go. So what they're saying is they want you to write Tn equals T1 plus D times N minus 1. And they want you to plug in all the variables here and leave the Tn blank. That's what they say. So in order to do that, you have to solve for T1 and D. Because we know the 6th day and the 11th, 15th day, that's the 6th day is T6 and the 15th day is T15. So we're going to solve for T1 and D using that simultaneous solving idea. So let's do that first. So we know that T6 equals T1 plus, and we're going to go 6 minus 1, which is 5, times D, 5D. So that's the general expression for the 6th term. Now we want to do it for the 15th term. So T15 equals, T1, which we don't know what it is, plus, 15 minus 1 is 14D. So you can write it out like this, but you don't have to specially go, and you can write it out and work it through as you're going that way. Okay, so you don't have to write the 15 in there and subtract the 1. You can write it out and have it like this. Now we're going to solve for T1 now by and D by subtracting the 2. So we know that T6 is actually 11, right? And T15 is 29. So we're going to plug in T6 at 11. So 11 equals T1 plus 5Ds. There's one equation. Okay, our second one over here, if we take this one and we look at it, 15th, it's 29. So we're going to go 29 is equal to T1 plus 14Ds. Okay, there we have our equation that we can solve for D now. So we're going to subtract this one from this one. So we're going to subtract the smaller one here. Okay, so there we have it. Okay, subtracting through here, this is 18 equals, this is 0 because T1 minus T1 is 0. And 14D subtract 5Ds is 9D. So D is equal to 2. So that means 2. Every day she gets 2 more sit-ups. Okay, now we have to find what T1 is. So we can pick this bottom equation. Oops, sorry, guys. Edit undo. Where's the undo here? There we go. Whoop, edit, undo. There we go. Okay, so now we can go ahead and solve for that one. So 11 equals T1 plus 5 times 2 for D, right? 5D. So that's 10. So 11 equals T1 plus 10. Subtract 10, T1 equals 1. So we now we got to write the general expression. So what we do is we write Tn and plug in what T1 is and plug in what D is and leave N blank and solve it. Okay? And that's why I wanted to do this example, because it's causing a little bit of confusion. So how do you find the Tn term? Well, T1 plus D times N minus 1. We just leave N blank. So Tn is blank. T1 we figured out is 1, and D we figured out is 2. And now we just simplify this down over here. So Tn equals 1 plus 2n subtract 2. Okay, now we can just add those two together and we have our general equation. So our general equation then is Tn equals, okay, 1 minus 2 is negative 1 plus 2n. So that's our general equation. So if you want the 19th term, you put 19 in there, and then you go, okay, 2 times 19, that's 38 minus 1, that would be 37. So that would be the 37 would be the 19th term. Now they're asking you to find out in B, what day does she get the 100th one? Okay, so what day is Tn 100? Okay, so in B, we want to find what day is Tn 100. So we could use this general term. You could say that 100 is equal to negative 1 plus Tn. And we solve for n. Now give us the term. So we add 1 to both sides. Put an equal there. Add 1, 101 equals 2n's. Divide by 2, n equals 50.5. So on the 51st day, she would pass it, on the 51st term. So the closest one would be probably the 51st term. Now, what day is the 51st term? Well, if you count the day 1 as doing 1 sit-up, and day 2 is doing 3, the 51st day would be the day that she would get to 100. Okay, so I just wanted to do that example because it's unclear when they say, or I didn't do any examples, finding Tn. So when they say find the general term, they mean write Tn equals and plug everything in except for the Tn and the n. And that's the general expression. So there's an example that I took out of the book. And I'll just post this small video of, let's see here, of an extra example of it's only 7.5 minutes. So I'll put it right under the first video. All right, there you go. Good luck with the practice. Just keep on the same practices that I gave you the other day.